Hi, this session is meant for all test managers who need to increase the efficiency of their test. How to do it? How can we increase efficiency? Let's have a look at the two major tasks of testing, the preparation, which means test case definition, and the execution. Take a look at these two areas showing the efforts associated with the tasks. When we consider the efforts associated with the tasks, we find that, on average, test case definition takes up 1 part of the time compared to 3 parts for test execution. Now, this may be an appropriate ratio as long as you execute your test cases once, but usually we execute our test cases a couple of times, and then this ratio gets really bad. So, the bottom line, if you need to increase test efficiency, you need to address this area. This is where you save money. You can reduce your execution effort per se by implementing test automation, but the most powerful impulse is the definition phase. Make sure you minimize the number of test cases without losses in test coverage and invest here. Let's have a closer look at test case definition. This task again consists of 2 major tasks: design, where you draft logical test cases to fulfill your requirements, and specification, where the drafts are transformed into fully described physical test instructions. And again, in terms of effort, this is a ratio of 1 to 3. So, very similar to the previous slide, you need to have a good test case design in order to save money in the specification. Now, what is test case design and how does it work? Let's take a look at a brief example from the insurance business. We want to test the premium calculation of a car insurance. Let's assume this is an extract of the functional spec. Owners younger than 18 do not get insurance because they cannot get a driver's license. Owners from 18 to 23 are considered to be new drivers and have to pay more. Owners 60 and elder receive a bonus for retired, and women in general have to pay less because they cause less accidents. How many and which test cases do we need for a comprehensive test? How do we solve this task? What we need to do first is find out which attributes we have got. That's age and gender here. Then we need to find the different instances to these attributes. We call these equivalence classes. And now the real crucial question, how do we need to combine these 2 attributes? Which combinations of age and gender need to be tested? I have asked this question to different audiences many times, and usually the first number of test cases I get is 8. It's 4 times 2, every possible combination. We call this permutation or full combination. What is the problem with it? Imagine you had another attribute, say profession, influencing the premium, and there were 4 different classes of profession. Then this would lead to 8 times 4, which is 32 test cases. What if you need to combine this with 30 different cars? Now we have 1,000 test cases. You see already, permutation makes our number of test cases explode. It cannot be the solution. I'm not going to do that. Now, here is the fundamental idea of highly efficient test case design, and it's very easy to apply. If there is no specific combination of attributes required in your functional spec, you do not need to have it in your test cases. You just need to make sure all equivalence classes are represented in your combinations at least once. So, coming back to our example, if we just need to make sure that every equivalence class is represented, this means 4 test cases. We call it orthogonal combination. The obvious advantage, if I now add a new attribute, location, with instances, city and country, and complete our combinations, the number of test cases does not increase. Orthogonality will prevent an explosion of combinations. This was our first intro into the concepts of test case design. Please see the other videos in our series TOSCA, the Power of Test Case Design.